Jai Shri Gurudev. I am Sumedhar from grade 6th. Today I am going to present a small presentation on air and atmosphere. Air is all around us. We cannot see air, but we can feel its presence around us. Air is present everywhere on the earth. It is a natural resource and is vital for the survival of all living organisms. We have seen that when we switch on a fan, the pages of an open book start fluttering and the curtains on the doors and windows start waving. This fluttering of papers and waving of curtains shows the presence of air. We have heard the rustle of the leaves and plants and seen the swaying of clothes hanging on a clothesline. We also enjoy flying a kite, but we can only do this because of the movement of air present around us. Now, let us know what is atmosphere. The thin layer of air or gases around the earth or any other planet is called atmosphere. When Earth formed 4.5 billion years ago, from a hot mix of gases and solids, it had almost no atmosphere at all. The surface was molten. As Earth cooled, an atmosphere formed mainly from gases spewed from volcanoes. It included hydrogen sulfide, methane, and 10 to 200 times as much carbon dioxide as today's atmosphere. Earth's original atmosphere was rich in methane, ammonia, water vapor, and the noble gas neon, but it lacked free oxygen. When the earth cooled down, most of the water vapor condensed and formed oceans. Scientists believe that the early atmosphere of Earth was similar to that of today's atmospheres of Mars and Venus, which contain mostly carbon dioxide. Mercury does not have any atmosphere because its gravitational force is escaped to the space very weak, and thus it escaped to the space. Planets like Venus, Earth, Mars, and other giant planets have atmosphere. Atmosphere is dense at the surface of the earth and becomes thinner as we move away from its surface. This means that on higher mountains or hilly areas which are above the earth's surface, air for breathing will be less. This is the reason why mountaineers carry oxygen cylinders with them. The earth's atmosphere contains 7 layers in it. From lowest to highest, the major layers are the troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. Now, let us know about the composition of air. Air contains 78.08% nitrogen, 20.95% oxygen, 0.93% argon, 0.04% carbon dioxide, and small amounts of other gases. Air also contains a variable amount of water vapor, on average around 1% at sea level and 0.4% over the entire atmosphere. Till the 18th century, it was assumed that air was one substance. However, studies have proved that air is a mixture of gases. It is made up of nitrogen, oxygen, argon, carbon dioxide, water vapor, other gases, and dust particles. Let us study about the components of air in detail. So, nitrogen is the most abundant gas present in the atmosphere because it is about 78% of volume in air. It occupies about 4/5 of the total space in the air. Nitrogen's characteristics are: it is the lightest gas, it is colorless and odorless gas. Nitrogen is required by plants for their growth. Oxygen is the second most abundant gas present in the atmosphere because it occupies 21% or one-fifth of the total volume in air. Oxygen is needed by all living beings because all living beings breathe in oxygen to survive. Oxygen also supports the process of burning. Carbon dioxide is 0.03% of volume in air. Carbon dioxide is released in the atmosphere during the process of respiration in plants, volcanic eruptions, and decay of organisms. And other gases such as argon, hydrogen, helium, and neon are also present in air. The percentage of argon by volume is 0.93% in air, but other gases are present in traces in the air. Water present in the form of gas in the atmosphere is called water vapor. The amount of water vapor present in the air varies from place to place and time to time. The amount of water vapor present in the air is called humidity. Pure air contains only gases, but it is found only in laboratories. But in the real world, air also contains tiny solid particles of dust, smoke, and other chemicals in it. Some of them can be seen with the naked eye, while others cannot be seen. Now, let us look different properties of air. Air is transparent. Air is a gas. So, compared to a solid, air contains very few atoms and is very light. Because air contains so few atoms, light waves run into very few of them when they shine through air. So, the air looks transparent. One can see the objects clearly through air. So, air is transparent. Air can be felt. Earth's gravity holds air to its surface, so we are all submerged in a sea of air. The weight of the air is constantly pushing against us, but it feels more like pressure than weight. Since it pushes from all sides, this all round push is a force called air pressure. When wind blows, we can see different things such as leaves, clothes, etc. moving. We also feel the touch of air on our skin. So, air can be felt. Air occupies space, exerts pressure, has weight, and it can be compressed. According to the definition, matter is something that occupies space and has mass. When a balloon is filled with air, it becomes bigger in size and it can be weighed. It proves that air occupies space. In reality, air is a gas that takes up space and has mass. Since there is a lot of empty space between air molecules, air can be compressed to fit in a smaller volume. Air not only has mass but exerts pressure as well. So, these are all the properties of air. Now, let us know the importance of air. As I said before, air is important for the survival of plants and animals on the earth. It is used by both plants and animals for breathing. In addition, it is also necessary for the growth of plants. The different components of air are used for different purposes. Nitrogen. Nitrogen is important to the chemical industry. It is used to make fertilizers, nitric acid, nylon, dyes, and explosives too. Nitrogen gas is also used to provide an unreactive atmosphere. It is used in this way to preserve foods and in the electronics industry during the production of transistors and diodes. What is the importance of oxygen? Most living things need oxygen to survive. Oxygen helps organisms grow, reproduce, and turn food into energy. Humans get the oxygen they need by breathing through their nose and mouth into their lungs. Oxygen gives our cells the ability to break down food in order to get the energy we need to survive. It is stored in cylinders which provide artificial respiration to patients in hospital. Oxygen is used as a component of fuel in rockets. The importance of carbon dioxide are: carbon dioxide is used as a refrigerant in fire extinguishers, for inflating life rafts and life jackets, blasting coal, forming rubber and plastics, promoting the growth of plants in greenhouses, immobilizing animals before slaughter, and in carbonated beverages. Inert gases. Helium is used in balloons and in welding. Helium is also used for the treatment of asthma and other breathing problems. It is used in industries for preventing explosions. Argon is used to fill the electric bulbs to prevent their filament from burning away. So, argon is used to fill the electric bulbs. Radon is used in treating cancer patients. Next comes water vapor. Water vapor is present in the atmosphere as a result of evaporation from different water sources like oceans and seas. Water vapor helps in the formation of clouds, which later comes down to the earth as rain. So, this is the importance of air. Now, let us know about photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the process by which green plants and some other organisms use sunlight to synthesize nutrients from carbon dioxide and water. Photosynthesis in plants generally involves the green pigment chlorophyll present in chloroplast and generates oxygen as a byproduct. So, the process through which plants make their food is called photosynthesis. Plants can produce their own food due to the presence of chlorophyll in the chloroplast. Are the tiny green structures in the cells of the leaves. Chlorophyll absorbs rays from the sun, which split water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen. Then, oxygen is released by plants into the atmosphere. After this, hydrogen and carbon dioxide are used to synthesize glucose or food for the plants, which we can see in the form of fruits and vegetables on the plants. Now, let us know how balance of gases take place in air. Oxygen and carbon dioxide levels are maintained through the processes called respiration and photosynthesis. What is respiration? Respiration is the process in which oxygen from the air is consumed by the living organisms who in turn release carbon dioxide in the environment. During photosynthesis, carbon dioxide is utilized by plants and they release oxygen in the environment. So, carbon dioxide is replenished by the process of respiration and oxygen is replenished by the process of photosynthesis. Now, let us know about air pollution, its causes, effects, and preventive measures. Air pollution is the release of pollutants such as gases, particles, biological molecules, etc. into the air that is harmful to human health and the environment. Air pollution refers to any physical, chemical, or biological change in the air. It is the contamination of air by harmful gases, dust, and smoke which affects plants animals, and humans drastically. There is a certain percentage of gases present in the air. An increase or decrease in the composition of these gases is harmful to survival of living beings. This imbalance in the gaseous composition has resulted in an increase in Earth's temperature, which is known as global warming. There are two types of air pollutants. Air pollution is the addition of foreign particles and poisonous gases in the air which can have harmful effects on plants, animals, and human beings. The particles which cause air pollution are called air pollutants. So there are two types in it: primary pollutants and secondary pollutants. The pollutants that directly cause air pollution are known as primary pollutants. Sulfur dioxide emitted from factories is a primary pollutant. Secondary pollutants. The pollutants formed by the intermingling and reaction of primary pollutants are known as secondary pollutants. Smog, formed by the intermingling of smoke and fog, is a secondary pollutant. Now let us know the causes of air pollution. Burning of fossil fuels. The combustion of fossil fuels emits a large amount of sulfur dioxide. Carbon monoxide released by incomplete combustion of fossil fuels also results in air pollution. Automobiles. The gases emitted from vehicles such as jeeps, trucks, cars, buses, etc. pollute the environment. These are the major sources of greenhouse gases and also result in diseases among individuals. Agricultural activities. Ammonia is one of the most hazardous gases emitted during agricultural activities. The insecticides, pesticides, and fertilizers, etc., emit harmful chemicals in the atmosphere and contaminate it. Factories and industries. Factories and industries are the main source of carbon monoxide, organic compounds, hydrocarbons, and chemicals. These are released into the air, degrading its quality. Mining activities. In the mining process, the minerals below the earth are extracted using large pieces of equipment. The dust and chemicals released during this process not only pollute the air but also deteriorate the health of the workers and people living in the nearby areas. Domestic sources. The household cleaning products and paints contain toxic chemicals in it that are released in the air. The smell from the newly painted walls is the smell of the chemicals present in that paints. It not only pollutes the air but also affects breathing. Now let us know what are the effects of air pollution. Diseases. Air pollution has resulted in several respiratory disorders and heart diseases among humans. The cases of lung cancer have increased in the last few decades. Children living near polluted areas are more prone to pneumonia and asthma. Many people die every year due to the direct or indirect effects of air pollution. Global warming. Due to the emission of greenhouse gases, there is an imbalance in the gaseous composition of the air. This has led to an increase in the temperature of the earth. This increase in the earth's temperature is known as global warming. This has resulted in the melting of glaciers and an increase in sea levels. Many areas are submerged underwater. Acid rain. The burning of fossil fuels releases harmful gases such as nitrogen oxides and sulfur oxides in the air. The water droplets combine with these pollutants become acidic and fall as acid rain, which damages human, animal, and plant life. Ozone layer depletion. The release of chlorofluorocarbons, halogens, and hydrochlorofluorocarbons in the atmosphere is the major cause of depletion of the ozone layer. The depleting ozone layer does not prevent the harmful ultraviolet rays or UV rays coming from the sun and causes skin diseases and eye problems among individuals. Effects on animals. The air pollutants suspend on the water bodies and affect the aquatic life too. Pollution also compels the animals to leave their habitat and shift to a new place. This renders them stray and has also led to the extinction of a large number of animal species. How can we control air pollution? We can avoid using vehicles. People should avoid using vehicles for shorter distances. Rather, they should prefer public modes of transport to travel from one place to another. This not only prevents pollution but also conserves energy. Energy conservation. A large number of fossil fuels are burned to generate electricity. Therefore, do not forget to switch off the electrical appliances when not in use. Thus, we can save the environment at the individual level. Use of energy efficient devices such CFLs also controls pollution to a greater level. Use of clean energy resources. The use of solar, wind, and geothermal energies reduce air pollution at a larger levels. Various countries, including India, have implemented the use of these resources as a step towards a cleaner environment. Other air pollution control measures include such as we can minimize and reduce the use of fire and fire products. Since industrial emissions are one of the major causes of air pollution, the pollutants can be controlled or treated at the source itself to reduce its effects. Fuel substitution is another way of controlling air pollution. In many parts of India, petrol and diesel are being replaced by CNG. CNG means compressed natural gas fueled vehicles. These are mostly adopted by vehicles that aren't fully operating with ideal emission engines. Although there are many practices in India which focus on repairing the quality of air, most of them are either forgotten or not being enforced properly. There are still a lot of vehicles on roads which have not been tested for vehicle emissions. Another way of controlling air pollution caused by industries is to modify and maintain existing pieces of equipment so that the emission of pollutants is minimized. The last and the best way of reducing the ill effects of air pollution is tree plantation. Plants and trees reduce a large number of pollutants in the air. Ideally, planting trees in areas of high pollution levels will be extremely effective. So, this was my small presentation on the concept of air and atmosphere. By preparing for this presentation, I even got more clarity on the concept of air and atmosphere. Thank you.